Hello, everybody. You're going to have to give me a second because, we doing a live stream. I'm going to let y'all come in while I make sure that everything is smooth on my end, that I am live on all platforms. So give me a second, pour on in. I know it's been, I didn't do a show last week because I was on vacay, but now we back. I have to go public on Facebook. All right, hurry up. Here we go. All right, we live on Facebook. Let's go live on Instagram. And we live on YouTube. All right, beautiful. Let me get back on here. Welcome. Thank you for for waiting patiently while I go through that. It's your girl, it's your host, Lachey Taylor. Welcome to the Betterism podcast. We're here. I have a very special guest. It is my sister. We go back a couple of years, met in this community, linked through Bobby Smith. We've done so many challenges together. We've been on our health journeys simultaneously. We've been, in general, we connect with each other like through our lifestyles here in this community. And her name is Tiff Moore. Tiff Moore is a beautiful, beautiful sister. And I have witnessed her journey, her health journey. I've heard her story about her overcoming health issues with MS and just going through that transition from the standard American diet to a plant-based diet. I've watched her fitness journey. I've watched her, raise her son, like her youngest son. She shares beautiful photos of her juices, her smoothies, her meals. They look delicious. So she's definitely a vibe. And more recently, she had a viral picture of her in an empty apartment with a set of keys in her hand. And she was just like, whatever you have to do for your peace, sometimes you have to start this way. And I felt that because, again, as we are in this journey and we make these connections, we can see and feel people's energy. And I just remember that, previous interviews, you can always tell when somebody's energy is just drained. And just watching how quickly she has brightened up, the light in her eyes, just for making a simple move, for changing her environment. So that's what we want to talk about today. We want to talk about leaving toxic environments to optimize our health, our emotional health, our physical health. It's always going to start with our emotions. It's always going to start with our mind. Sometimes it doesn't matter how much you take care of yourself and with the food, with working out, with meditation, with prayer, with whatever it is, if your environment is so toxic that you're constantly developing stress. So that we're going to get into it. We live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Please like and share the live because this is going to be a powerful discussion. I feel like this is going to resonate with a lot of people, male or female, who are trying to live better lives, but there's people in their environment that make it really hard for them. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to bring Tiff on. Let me unmute your mic. Hey, sis, how are you?
Hi, sis. Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy for you in general. And I just feel like there's no better person to have this discussion with. So thank you.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And I am ready to go ahead and get into this topic because it needs to be said.
Let's get it. So yeah. So your surroundings are different. In a new home. As mentioned, I'm loving your content. You are just bubbly, bright, you know, your sense of humor, you just being yourself. And why do you think that is?
Well, first and foremost, I was in a very toxic, and that's the topic, leaving from a toxic environment. I was in a very toxic environment. Um, and a lot of people, they really didn't know what I was going through. Um, Physically, you can see me. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you can see that, okay, she's juicing. Okay, she's posting the fruits. But to actually know Tiffany and to know what she was dealing with was completely different. Um, Silent cries on the inside, day in, day out, day in and day out, because I knew that either I had to leave from that environment, or someone was going to get hurt. And I'm not talking about being mentally hurt, because the mentally hurt was already done, and that was within myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that part was already done. I'm talking about physically hurt, to the point where if you are starting to hate someone or something, whatever it may be, you need to get the fuck away fast, because that there is it's a disaster waiting to happen, because you are a ticking time bomb. You know what I'm saying? And you sit here and you contemplate on, how the fuck can I get out of this situation? Well, how did I get into this situation? How can I get out of this situation? How did I get into this situation? That's all you can literally think about, day in and day out and day in and day out and day in and day out. Where when someone is talking to you, you can't even resonate what the hell they saying, because you are not mentally stable enough to even have that conversation with them. So you just kind of like, okay, all right, it is what it is. You become a yes person, just a yes, yes, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew deep down inside that's not me. But because for so long I got used to walking on eggshells trying to keep the peace, I just put aside, I said, fuck my peace. You know, I said, fuck my happiness, fuck my peace, fuck everything, fuck my feelings, fuck my stress levels, everything. I put all of that to the side, because I thought that I could fix a toxic environment. You can't fix that shit. There's no fixing it at all. So I noticed that once I am now out of that toxic environment, my whole mood is different now. My energy is different now. Like, my rest is different. My sleeping is different. Like, I'm at peace. I don't feel like, oh my God, I can't think right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like, oh my God, this has to be done. Oh my God, this has to be done. And that and this and that and this and that. The things that has to be done now is all things that I want to do on my time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have someone that is not appreciating the things that I bust my ass to do, and you don't appreciate it. You take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? So that, to me, is like a slap in the face. So, and this goes out to anybody, male or female, whatever the case may be. Please do not ignore those red flags. What they call red flags, do not ignore them. Do not say, oh, they're just upset right now, or the teacher is upset right now. Whoever it is, it can be a person, place, or thing. Okay. Do not just be like, oh, I'm just going to ignore it because they're upset right now. You know, no. When a person does not get what they want, or you tell their ass no, or you try to put yourself first, they're going to show their true colors. They will definitely show their true colors, and you have to learn to accept them for who they are. You either accept them for who they are and deal with them accordingly, or you get the fuck away. Because guess what? Either way it goes, you're hurting each other. A toxic environment is nothing to play with at all. And a lot of us, we deal with it because we don't know how to explain to anyone else what we're going through. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, they're embarrassed. A lot of people, they don't know how to even talk to people about it. You know what I mean? And it's like, it should not be like that, because no, if you're going through something, you need to let somebody know that you actually trust. And even if you don't trust them, still let it be known. Because when shit hit the fan, because it will, when shit hit the fan, nobody can sit here and be like, well, she never told me. Well, shit, I didn't know. Well, shit, I didn't think that she was going through that. No. It's good to let that shit out, because if you bottle all that shit in, and I have 6 years of built up hurt, built up animosity, built up frustration, not towards him, not towards anybody else in particular. It's built up towards myself, because I allowed the shit to fucking happen.
Mm-hmm.
I allowed it to happen. So I'm not mad at anybody else. I'm not butthurt. I'm not bitter. I'm not none of that. I got myself into that situation, and I took myself out of the situation. You see what I'm saying? That's how you fix the shit. If you get yourself into it, you take yourself out of it. If a different person gets yourself into it and you know it's a fucked up situation, you still have to take yourself out of it. Do not depend on the next person to come and save your ass, because it's not going to fucking happen. Do not depend on the next person to make sure that your happiness comes first, because it ain't up to them. And they gonna let your ass know by actions, by words, by all of that. They're gonna let you know. It ain't up to me. That's your emotions. That's how you feel. Okay. Yeah. You're right.
That self-sacrifice, like, we always have like this thing where we're always willing to sacrifice our own needs to please other people, like you say, being a people pleaser. So it's like we don't want to be selfish, even though we have to be selfish. Like, I'm a huge proponent of, like, I'm the main character, this is my life, like, I am the world, and y'all are just like a part of the world, and I don't bend to anybody's will, because I've done that in the past, like not being afraid to advocate for myself, being afraid to speak up for myself, doing things that I don't want to do. And now I'm like really at a place where if somebody's asking something of me and I really don't want to do it on the inside, like I'm really like, I really think I tell myself, do you want to do this? No, then I'm not going to do it. But we will literally, for multiple years, like you said, 6 years, you will self-sacrifice and let things roll off your back to go along, to get along. We'll have like these insecurities in ourselves. We'll question our ability to take care of ourselves for economic reasons. We stay in these really toxic situations, you know, for whatever. There's an umbrella, a cornucopia of reasoning for why we allow ourselves to stay in these environments, and we sacrifice our own peace of mind. And it's like, we do all of these things to work on ourselves, to compensate for the fact that we know that we're unhappy. So we think that, well, if I change my diet, I'm going to be happier. If I start working out, I'm going to be happier. If I get a whole new wardrobe, I'm going to be happier. If I just start getting my nails done regularly, I'm going to be happier. If I do this and do that, it's always all these things that's outside of ourselves that we think that, but there is nothing that's going to make you happy if fundamentally the ground that you stand on, like you said, are eggshells. So you can't move and you're in a constant state of anxiety day after day after day after day. That your mental health and your emotional health wears on you physically. So it really doesn't matter how well you eat. Like, yes, if you eat very well, if you move your body, if you breathe, if you do all these things, yes, you are putting yourself in a position that the stress isn't going to deteriorate you as bad as it would if you weren't taking care of yourself. But stress will definitely have you at a plateau when it comes to your health. Because my mental health was shaky, because my mental health was poor, and because I was very depressed, it did not matter how healthy. I actually started eating more unhealthy because at one point the lifestyle, trying to be perfect at it, was actually weighing on my emotional health. So I had to like learn how to give myself grace and not be perfect and allow myself to kind of transition into it, and eating a little bit unhealthy but having better mental health because I did start incorporating certain things. I changed my environment. I had more peace in my life. My health improved despite despite the unhealthy food choices from time to time. It wasn't like I was just sitting up there eating like trash all day, every day. It would just be like, okay, if I'm out with a friend, I'm at a restaurant, if a Beyond Burger is on the menu and that's my only option, I'm gonna eat it, I'm gonna enjoy it, I'm gonna go and cleanse the next day or two, get it out of my system. Like, but if you're having a good time, like, so you're doing all that and you're feeling good about yourself, and then you come home and you live with your adversary. So now it's just like that whole good day was just wiped out. And now your anxiety is back up. Now your heart is racing. Now, mentally, like you said, silently crying to yourself. And we'll sit there and we will live through that environment until it gets to a point where it's so bad that you legitimately don't even care about the fears of leaving anymore, because I would rather sleep in a car if it gave me more peace than being around this toxic human being. So, I say, and a lot of people, it's not even just their spouses. Sometimes it's like they live with family who's just really toxic, sisters, mothers, brothers, their own children. Like, don't be afraid to move yourself out of these environments, because you're not going to be healthy if you are not emotionally balanced. If your mental health isn't there, it's holistic. We put so much pressure, we've put so much importance on food. Like, it's only the food. Well, you got to move your body, you got to do this, you got to do that. But one thing I notice is, like, when I go to the hospital, if I end up in the ER or something, they ask you, do you feel safe at home? Do you have, like, they are asking you these questions because it's tied to your emotional health. Because, like, stress will kill you. But yeah. So do you feel like, since you have changed your environment, like, I know you said your sleep has gotten better, you're definitely at peace. Were you experiencing physical health issues while in the toxic environment? And sent from that point on, from your last day there and your month or two into your new environment, do you feel like there were certain things you were experiencing physically that just doesn't really seem like a thing anymore?
Oh yeah. For instance, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still healing my body from MS. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the symptoms has went away. I have healed from that. But because it being actually nerve damage and it's stress related, and me being in a stressful environment, I could tell, like, if I get too upset without me even saying anything, verbally saying anything, my walking would be completely different. I would actually, like, my left side feel like it's going almost numb, or I'll start experiencing what they call like drop leg or drop foot or something like that. But it would be my nervous system, because my nervous system was so shot being around in this environment. And now it's like, shit, my body can relax now. You know what I'm saying? I can breathe. That's the best way that I can describe it, because it literally felt like I was having some type of heart attack. every single day. It felt like it was real humid, and it ain't even got to be humid for real, but this is how the inside of my body felt, like very hot, very uncomfortable, real scrambled. Mind can't fucking think. And mind you, like I was working a full-time job at home in this environment with a basement full of dogs. And I'm still doing motherly duties. I'm still doing wifely duties. I'm still running a household 24/7. And it's just like, what have you done for Tiffany mentally? You know what I'm saying? Like, what have you done? And back in January, while I was at work, and a lot of people, they don't know this, but y'all gonna find out today. I don't know if it was an anxiety attack. I don't know what the fuck happened to me, but I was literally working on a phone call and I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk no more. I could barely breathe. And it's January, okay? So here in Michigan, it is cold as hell in January. I started getting super hot. Like my body started like feeling like I couldn't control it anymore. I finally got the strength. Mind you, I'm still on this call at work. Finally got the strength to open up the window. Everybody in the house sleep. The husband sleep. Jamal sleep. My other two children sleep. Everybody sleep. I'm in the bedroom with the door shut. But I couldn't say nothing. I couldn't yell. I couldn't ask for help. I couldn't do nothing. I opened up the window. I laid across the bed because I knew that was going to be my last time that I actually lived on this face of earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I laid there gracefully. Like, when my family find me, at least I won't look like I was struggling, how I felt. And that's some fucked up shit. Because you're at what's supposed to be home. You know what I'm saying? But you sitting here, you so stressed out that you done lost control of everything. You done lost control of everything. And not only did you lose control, but now you just at a point where you just like, fuck it, I'm just about to die. Like, I'm just about to die. But I didn't die, clearly. But just to experience something like that, once I experienced that, moving on, I said, oh, that was my last time kissing ass. That was my last time biting my tongue. It was like literally a wake-up call from God himself. Like, we're not about to keep doing this. Because if you don't figure out how to fix this situation, I'm going to fix it for you, because I'm letting you know right now that this stress is not good for anybody. Not the kids, not the pets, not him, not the household, not the outside of the house, because energy, it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? You already know that. So it's like, okay, February came around. February the 15th, I quit my job. And I don't make the most money. I wasn't making the most money then. And I was still stressed the fuck out. I was still a hot mess. When I let go of myself completely. I wouldn't go get my eyebrows done. I wouldn't leave out the house. I was just coming out of postpartum depression. And I dealt with postpartum depression for over 2 years. Jamal is 3 now. So I dealt with it by myself for over 2 years. So not only am I dealing with postpartum depression that took a huge toll on everything, but I'm also dealing with a full-blown narcissist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm up against so many things. And come to find out, it wasn't even that for real. It was just a fucking toxic environment that I was in. You cannot sit here and think that you about to thrive and be happy and find yourself when something or someone is constantly holding you back and constantly bringing you down and constantly telling you that you're studying to be a bum, when all you want to do is sit here and live this lifestyle that a lot of people ain't living. I don't want a big fancy house, and I don't want a big expensive mortgage and the best of the best cars and this and that. No, I want to be debt free. I want to live on land and grow my own food. And if you think that that's me studying to be a bum, then so be it. Make sure you say that I'm going to be the happiest fucking bum on this earth.
I feel you. And I remember when you got your land, I thought that was so dope. Like, you literally purchased a plot of land so that you could grow your own food on. And I'm like, yo, that's like, she's making moves. And you would hope that that would be a shared vision, because, like, who doesn't want land? I mean, it's an asset, but not only is it an asset, it's renewable. You know, you plant seeds, that's something that's going to feed you, that's helping you save money on produce, and you're able to feed yourself and your family healthier produce, because you know for a fact it hasn't been processed in any kind of weird way, or doesn't have any toxic ingredients, the fertilizers or the toxic pesticides or whatever. So you would think that's a good thing. And it's unfortunate that we will be in these environments where we are trying to be our best in certain kind of ways. Like, you're being the kind of wife that most men claim they want. A woman who has a green thumb, who's into gardening, who's into growing. Like, that's actually an asset. You're bringing a skill into this family, into this relationship, something that, you know, if we were in the apocalypse and it's the, you know, we have what do you call it, like societal breakdown, you're somebody who can actually be useful. You know, like, we have land, we already have seeds in the ground, I have someone with the skills, you know. So it's just like, I know, like you say, you guys were doing the dogs. I mean, okay, that's a companion for somebody, but that's not a skill set, so to speak. How is that going to serve you if in hard times, being able to sell, ain't nobody gonna have no money? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure you can, I guess, barter the pets, which is like, okay, but like, you have an actual skill that will feed your family, and you own actual land in a time where land is becoming more scarce, because it seems like it's being purchased and bought up and getting more expensive along with everything else. So, like, these are all wonderful, beautiful things, but it's like, when you're not in alignment with the person you're in a relationship with, there is literally no point in trying to force it. And I felt you when you said, I'm not mad at him, I'm not mad at nobody. I was more so upset with myself, because it's about, I literally had that conversation with myself today when I was like, I was having like all this anxiety for a quick moment about something. And then I had to tell something I did, and it was like me not giving myself grace. And then I thought about it. It was like, pump the brakes. I was like, because you get so tired of feeling like that, so tired of being anxious, so tired of being in your head, worried. And then I think about how I'm only putting this pressure on myself. Like, ain't nobody doing this to you but you. So I had to tell myself, I forgive myself. And then literally I said it and I meant it, and it just melted away.
Yep.
We have to forgive ourselves.
And that's the thing. Like, we don't really, a lot of us don't even know how to forgive ourselves. I know with me, at least, like, I didn't know how to give myself grace. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have people teaching me and telling me certain things, because I isolated myself a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I got my fruity community, I got this, you know what I'm saying? But it's still like, it was something I was missing. And that's that forgiveness, acceptance. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you accept it is what it is, then it's like, there's no looking back at that point. You can't tell me shit. You cannot tell me nothing about myself that I don't already know. You know what I'm saying? And then you start to realize you take your power back mentally, physically, emotionally. You take your power back. Then you start to learn all these new powers that you didn't even think existed, that you didn't even know you had in you, because you was always like, so, oh my goodness, like, no, I don't want to try that, because of the verbal abuse that you dealt with. You know what I'm saying? The fucked up environment that you were in. And a lot of people, they'll say like, Oh my God, I want somebody that's going to come home to me every day and that's going to do this and do. Mm-mm. It's a difference between someone coming home to you every day versus when they come home, you know that you're going to get a hug. You know that you're going to get a conversation. How was your day? What happened? How you feeling? You know what I'm saying? You're going to get a simple kiss on the forehead. You're going to feel that love. A toxic environment, you're never going to get that type of love at all. And eventually you're going to start seeking it elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the infidelity kicks in. That's when you know what I'm saying? All type of shit. And it's just like, I need to get the fuck away before any of that happens, because all of that can happen. And guess what? I still have to come back to this fucked up environment.
Yeah. We want to be in peaceful, nurturing environments. And I think it's time for people to stop staying in relationships for the sake of saying that they are in one. Because being in a relationship is not a flex, especially if you're unhappy. Like relationships, you're sharing your life with this person. And we are supposed to be working on ourselves every day to be the most whole version of ourselves. And whole as in we fulfill ourselves from the inside because we are living in alignment with the things that we desire. So like if you have a passion and you're the actions you take on a day-to-day basis, you make time for that passion. Like I believe it's important for people to have passion projects. Whatever it is you are interested in, whatever it is that gets you going, try your best, not for money, for personal fulfillment. Have a passion project. That's why I created this platform, because I talk a lot, like, so I wanted to create an environment where I got to use my voice, but also got to have like really insightful discussions and be a thought leader, so to speak. So, and since creating a passion project for myself, when I tell you the level of happiness that I experience now, because I'm creating. I think we need to always be in our creation energy. So us working on our health, our having something that fulfills us, our finances, becoming debt free, learning new skills, things that's going to give us confidence. And then when you become like that happy whole version of yourself, when you get into these relationships, your standards are at least at a level of how you love and treat yourself. And we tend to settle for less than how we even treat ourselves. Well, not necessarily. We will only settle for less if we don't treat ourselves the best. So it's like people meet us where we've already met ourselves. So we allow ourselves to sit in these situations for far too long.
Right.
And then we get afraid to leave the situations because we've created fixtures in these situations. Children, you got a mortgage together. If you're married, like everything is tied into this. So you try so hard to make it work. But it's like we try to honor and fulfill these on paper contracts versus our spiritual contracts, the one that we came here for ourselves to evolve as human beings, as people. So if your human experience is poor because of who you chose a life with, or even who you came into the world surrounded by, like your family, like we don't get to pick our family. So if people are toxic, it's like we have to really work on ourselves and build up that self-love and have like this wholeness to us, so that when we go into relationships, we're like a whole human being, and then we're already happy and we're not seeking happiness from the person that we're in the relationship with. And hopefully you're attracting the same kind of energy into your life when you are in a relationship, so that you have secured attachments. It's not like these unhealthy, insecure attachments, these trauma bonds and all of that. But we have to go through these environments, unfortunately, to grow through them at the same time and grow up out of them. And it's okay to outlive relationships and outgrow the people in our lives. Like, so it's about like seeing these obstacles and these challenges that we have as just opportunities for us to grow. Sometimes it takes us longer than we would have liked, but we get to that point. And then one thing is we've internalized everything we've been through. We know we ain't gonna put ourselves through it again.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's really brave to decide to leave and to choose yourself. It's brave because it's hard to do. The reason why we stayed stuck in these situations is because it was hard. Like, it's not easy to just like walk out. It's not even physically easy when you have all these contracts and these agreements and like, it just, but then you get to a point where you're just like, I don't care anymore. And it's just so funny because it's like, no, I don't think anyone is ever at that I don't care place unless they've been through something like this. So sometimes we just have to go through it. How do you how do you feel now that, like, I'm pretty sure like you're like separated or whatever the case is? Are you like, I'm gonna be in my solitude for a while, work on myself, I'm not even thinking about relationship type mindset? Or are you on like, you know what, I move on quick, I don't like, how do you feel about that?
So like here's the thing with that. And a lot of this took place like starting last year. So none of this is like new. You know what I'm saying? It's not new to me. I've been new like last year around June that I was done. I just didn't know how or when I was going to leave. I never had my eyes set on anyone else. I never, you know what I'm saying, never plotted to meet anybody else or anything like that. But now it's to the point where it's like whatever happens, happens. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not looking for anything like that. However, if I do meet a nice friend or whatever the case may be, then that's just what it is. And I let it be known. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my situation. This is what I went through. And that's just that. I'm not looking for no type of commitments. I'm not looking for any of that. But I'm not like, oh, I'm not going to talk to you, or, oh, no, I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do that, or anything like that, because of what I'm currently going through now, or whatever the case may be, because it's not new. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not new. And Tiff, me, I can only be down for a little while, because once them tears stop flowing, and once I get my appetite back, and once my mind, I can actually breathe and focus on me, I don't give a fuck about you at all. You didn't give a fuck about me. And why should I give a fuck about you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I become her all over again. And it's a nice feeling. I don't want to be the mean her, because I used to be a really mean girl. I ain't even gonna hold you up. But at the same time, people think that they can fucking play with you. And sometimes you have to let them know, like, no, I'm still beautiful. I'm still a woman. You know what I'm saying? I still want to feel attractive. You know what I'm saying? Just because you didn't make me feel that way doesn't mean that it's not somebody else that can possibly be attracted to me, or whatever the case may be, outside of, oh, she got a vagina, so that's it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, we all got it. So what's the problem? I'm talking about somebody that can actually know exactly what type of woman that they're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And not take it for granted. Because then if you start taking it for granted and taking my kindness for weakness and this and that, then it's like, okay, you didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
What I'm not going to deal with is disrespect, foolishness, and childish games. I'm not going to deal with that. But as far as like chit chatting and stuff like that, yeah, no, I don't mind.
I hear you. Where, like, I mean, I came out of a relationship a couple years ago, and I've kind of just like been solo dolo since. And I've been very intentional about just working on certain aspects of myself. But now I'm like in this place where I'm just in, I don't know, I feel like I'm in creation mode. And when you're creating and you're living your life and you're just being happy, like because you're finally doing things that you've always wanted to do, but had like fear of doing them. For me, it was due to a lack of belief in myself or just whatever limitations I had in my mind. And now I'm breaking through those limitations and like doing everything I said I wanted to do. Like I've been said I wanted a podcast. It just took me years to actually implement and do it. I've been said I wanted to travel more. And now I'm finally just like doing it. And it's like no excuses. And when you start to like just be fulfilled doing what you want to do, you start to attract high quality people because you're in your high quality, high frequency, high vibing energy. So you don't have to look for anyone. Trust and believe when you're glowing up, they're just going to come to you and you get to pick who you want. And you have standards now. You know, you maintaining your boundaries because you won't allow yourself to go through what you've been through. And I think it's so important for us to fall in love with life. Like I'm on my fall in love with life journey, not my looking for love journey. Love
Right.
will find me. Because I've found love in myself. I've found love in life. And I think that if we just focus on us doing what we want to do, you shine from the inside out. People see it. And then it's like you start to attract people like that. I mean, you also going to attract energy vampires, people who think that they can come in, but we're more discerning. So we don't even, you know, we're God's favorite people. We are blessed and highly favored. So we're being protected and blocked from that because, you know, we're in our higher spirit. So we know. And I just feel like, because for me, yeah, I have my boundaries. Like I'm just not interested, generally speaking, but let somebody come into my life that I feel like, okay, I don't know. I just feel like when we are living and we creating and we're not creating these hard rules, just like live and let live.
Just let it be. Let it be. Let it flow. It is what it is. You're gonna feel a certain type of connection to that person. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna be like, okay. Whether it's they made you laugh, you haven't felt that way in a long time, you feel butterflies, like whatever the case may be, you're gonna feel that special connection with that person. And like you said, you don't have to go looking for anything. It's going to naturally come to you. Like it's going to naturally come to you. And it's going to be like, me. And then you're going to be like, duh. Duh. Because I'm telling you, like, I don't even have to put clothes on anything. I don't have to get dialed up. I don't have to do none of that. And just be my natural self. And I get looked at like I'm an alien. Like, where did you come from? Like, and it's nice because it's like I literally will shut the whole whatever little store I'm in or whatever. I will shut that shit down. Everybody will be quiet because the energy, the vibes that I give off, I'm confident as hell. You know what I'm saying? Even on my worst days, I'm still confident because I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. I know the powers that I have. You know what I'm saying? But most importantly, I found that self-love again. So nobody can sit here and tell me, oh, because she got on them baggy sweatpants. No. Because regardless if I got on the baggy sweatpants versus the little booty shorts, I'm still gonna get the same energy. Because you feel it. Like energy doesn't lie at all. So it's like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Energy is an experience, it's a feeling, it's not a look, you know, it's not an aesthetic. Um, the internet got people the internet got people really lacking discernment when it comes to reality. Like everything is an aesthetic. You know, like it's how things look.
Right.
People care more about how their life looks versus how it actually feels. So they'll take a snapshot of a framed and staged moment in their life, and then because they want us to believe that that is how their entire life is, even though like the energy behind that picture is, oh, let me take a picture of this because I need a quick dopamine hit because I'm really not happy for real. So if I get 200 likes on this picture, I'm going to feel good about myself for a quick second. And that's people compensating with something that's the most benign and easiest thing for most people to do, is to scroll and tap, and they're finding their self-worth in that experience. But we have to stop caring about how our life looks when we're not happy with how our life feels. So it doesn't matter what you have on, it doesn't matter what you look like, none of that matters, because like you said, when you step into a room and you have confidence and you just got that glow and that energy, you're going to attract people regardless. You don't have to have high-end clothes and be like a brand whore and, have like an aesthetic. Like, it's funny because like I'll watch, while I'm like working on myself, I like to see the different school of thoughts when it comes to femininity, things that these other women do. And I'll like sit here and watch these TikTok videos, and like these women, they're constantly chasing an aesthetic, a look, an appearance to attract a high value man or a rich man. And they're telling you, oh, dress up like Aunt Viv, go to
Yeah.
dress up like Aunt Viv, go to the financial district in your city, go there for happy hour and your best, get a whole full face beat of makeup, wear your straight wig, and be dainty. And but it's like, yeah, you're attracting husbands, honey, like, but they don't care because relationships have become careers to a lot of people. Like, it's kind of like no one is doing it, not no one, but a lot of people aren't doing it because of love. It's like more so a business now. And there's advice, like you have like Shira 7, which I kind of love. She's kind of funny, but she'd be like, I'm not giving you relationship advice, I'm giving you financial advice. Because like that's how a lot of women are thinking. They're trying to be taken care of, rather than learning how to take care of themselves. I don't think there's anything wrong with that if you have an actual emotional connection with the man. But I just don't know how people can be in these real transactional situations, because I feel like if the energy ain't right, no matter how much money is in that household, you are deteriorating your spirit. Like, your spirit is literally being broken. And it's so hard to bounce back from that. It really is.
Yeah. And that brings me to this point as well too. Like, I don't care about the fancy cars. I don't care about the mortgage. I don't care about, yes, all of that is nice. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, I want what money can't buy. And a lot of women may think to themselves like, oh my God, like, I want just to have that title as being a wife or this and that. Like, you want to make sure that the person that you actually marry, you know what I'm saying, that energy, it has to be not perfect, but y'all got to at least come to some type of like agreement, some type of, we're working towards it, some type of something. Otherwise, it ain't gonna work. No matter how much you put on a brand new car, no matter how much you pay to get the house remodeled, no matter, let me tell you, because none of it works. None of it works. No matter how many times you send me on these trips and here, you take the money, you go do this, I'm gonna pay for it. None of it worked. I did it all. None of it worked. None of it worked. So once again, it was not that person. It was me. It was me. It was me not being happy in that type of environment with that type of energy. And it's a type of energy that cannot be avoided because you see this person day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? And when they're not in your face, once they do come around, it's like you instantly become drained. And it's like, damn, I ain't seen you pretty much all day. And when I do see you, I don't even want to be around you because you are draining. The conversation is draining. Just being in your presence is draining because you give off such a bad vibe. And it's not you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's you. And I cannot sit here and force an orange to be an apple.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't like you. So the fact that I don't like you, that's a me problem. Yep. So I need to
remove myself.
Remove myself.
Yeah, once again, it's just I don't like you as a person. You know what I'm saying? I don't like your vibe. I don't like your energy. I don't like any of that. And what happens when you don't like something? You do something about it, right? No matter if it's a job, no matter if it's a school, if you have the ability to change schools or a career, whatever the case may be, we all have that option. Every time we get another 24 hours, because we all got the same 24 hours in a day. Every time we get that opportunity, do not take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. Do what it is you need to do. They're either going to accept it and move on, and it is what it is, or they're either going to hate you even more. That's fine too. But at the end of the day, you gotta think about what makes you happy as an individual. Like, I tried to have my garden for a minute. That was making me very happy. But I couldn't keep it up the way I wanted to because of all the fucking dogs. So you see that I'm happy with this garden. You see what I'm doing. You see what I'm trying to do. You see what I'm trying to accomplish. You would think that there would be some type of compromising with each other. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, how about I start doing it this way? And they, you know what I'm saying? Or we build something around where you want to place your gardening at and this and that. So I'm like, okay, that didn't work. I sit here, I buy the field. I want to do this, I want to do that with it. And then the person turns around and say, I don't want to have nothing to do with that field. Once again, when a person is telling your ass and showing you, believe them. Believe it, believe it, believe it, believe it, and remove yourself out of that. You don't want to deal with toxic situations because that toxicity, after a while, is going to weigh down on your body. It's going to hit you mentally first, and you can try to ignore it all you want. You can try, but sooner or later, oh baby, it's going to catch up to you. And you ain't going to know what the fuck happened. And you ain't going to you going to either end up in a mental house, you either going to kill somebody, yourself or the person or everybody. Like, something is going to happen. It had been plenty of times where I was like, I'm about to set this motherfucker on fire. I should not be having those type of thoughts.
Yeah.
No one should have those type of thoughts. If those type of thoughts are running through your mind or has crossed your mind, even if it's in a joking way, you don't joke about nothing like that, especially nowadays. You do not joke about anything like that. That shit ain't funny. You want to sit here and joke about burning the fucking house down?
Yeah, no, I mean,
time to go.
When people bring out the worst in you, it's definitely time to go. And like, stress kills. That's nothing but stress manifested. People end up in the hospital every day from heart attacks, not because they have clogged arteries or none of that. It's because their cortisol has built up so much over time. Their body is in a constant state of fight or flight. They're constantly in a survival state. They're never in their relaxed state. Our bodies become conditioned to be fight or flight. And it's crazy because you can leave the toxic environment and actually start to like feel a little bit better and have like, you'll have moments of peace, but you actually have to retrain your body to be in a peaceful state because like you almost become addicted to the habit of stress, the habit of worry, the habit of anxiety, the habit of ruminating, overthinking. And then it's like, now you literally have to retrain your nervous system to not be nervous, to like really be at ease and be at peace. And it's crazy how our biological vessels are always constantly trying to optimize and maintain, get back to homeostasis, because we're always barraging ourselves either with toxic things physically that go inside of us, or the things we put on top of us, or the things that's happening in our head. And we have and the body is becomes the body really is the mind, because it's the mind that tells the body what to do, and then the body becomes automatic on a subconscious level. So like our subconscious mind develops a program. So literally that stress, that fear state, that that fight or flight, that survival mode is a program. And we have to like relearn how to, it's like learning how to walk again. If you got into a car accident and had to go through rehab, and now you have to learn how to walk again and do all of this, you have to literally learn how to like kind of be at ease again, to not be anxious, to not overthink, to not worry, because there's nothing in your life anymore that's putting you in that place. Like you don't have to do that, but it's all you've been conditioned to do and feel. So sometimes being at peace, like I remember, right? So I was like diagnosed with sinus tachycardia, where my resting heart rate is always like over 100 beats per minute. So I remember when I like started like the health journey and eating clean and doing the juice fasting and eating the fruits and cleansing, then all of a sudden my heart rate started to drop to like 80 beats per minute. I felt like there was something wrong with me, because I was so used to that fast, rapid heart rate all the time, even though it's not really good for me. That was my normal. So when I was at 80 beats per minute, my body was almost too calm. I almost felt like I was slipping out of it. It's so weird, but you got to get used to like being at peace, like not having the drama in your life. And because it's just like you anticipate it because it's been the program. So it's crazy. It really is a process to learn how to get back to peace.
Mm-hmm. And it's like that was the hardest thing for me when I first moved in, because it was so quiet. I was like, I don't even know what to do right now. It was so quiet. I'm like, I really do not know what to do with myself right now. I would start rolling around like on a carpet. I would go for like a walk outside. I would come back in. I would just sit up against the wall. Like I literally had to like you said, once you train your mind, the body is going to automatically start to follow. But it all starts with that mindset. You know what I'm saying? So I had to literally, like, I can remember just laying here, just like in the dark, just laying down. And I would just have conversations with myself like, it is okay. You are okay. Everything is going to be okay. And then I started laughing out loud. Like I was literally like not getting ready to lose my mind, but it was like, it was so different. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, damn, like, really?
Yeah.
All that trauma. It's like the shit, it will follow you and it will try to haunt you and things like that. But you got to learn how to work through it. You got to learn how to build yourself back up. You got to learn how to handle being alone. Even though I was already alone, it was a different type of, it's different now. It's like, I'm peacefully alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have all these extra bodies and stuff, all these extra different personalities and all these extra different, I don't have any of that anymore. So it's
like all those responsibilities. It's like now you have, it seems like now, because like me observing your journey, just like your life in general, from what you've shared up until this point, your creation is different. Like before, you were what you were drinking and what you were eating, you would take photos of it and share it. Everything's good. When you were growing your food, you would share the process of that as like your tomatoes grew and things like that. Was like really dope to watch. Now I'm watching you create in a different kind of way. Like you're creating like more, like your content is just like you really sharing more of yourself, not the object, but you, like your personality is shining more. You're on camera, like you can just genuinely tell the difference in a happier person. And that's just a difference in the nervous system, because people don't realize that your nervous system controls everything that goes on inside of you. So you get all of that flowing the way that it's supposed to, and mentally you're going to be healthier physically, you're going to be happier, and being happier actually creates better physical health as well. Because just like there's stress hormones, the cortisol that can deteriorate us physically, there's also happy hormones. When you're happy, it starts to repair your body as well. So you can heal your body with your mind. And I can just like see the healing in you. There's how you're sharing, just showing yourself more, sharing more. And it's a different kind of creation. You know, there was like the creation, like the escapism creation, and then like this is just me,
right,
being me, doing what I want to do, sharing, trying to inspire, you know, and just like, and it's funny because it seems like energetically you're even vibing higher. Like success leaves clues almost. So because energetically your energy has brightened up, like your aura has kind of expanded, like your electromagnetic energy is kind of like expanded. Now you're attracting more. Like you had took a simple selfie. I mean, you look beautiful in that selfie. That thing went viral. Like you have like over 8,000.
I was not expecting that at all. Like clearly I wasn't expecting it. And I'm like, y'all, it's a damn, I'm like showing off the popsicle, but you
I'm like, is that 8,000 likes? Sis? Okay, I see you.
I was like, okay, well, I mean, if it keep going up, I'm going to allow it to keep going up. I'm like, okay. But it's just, once again, it's going to naturally come to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to go looking for anything, and I don't have to do much. It was to me, it was simple. You know what I'm saying? But apparently it caught a lot of people's attention, I hope in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? Because I got more positivity than any time. It wasn't nothing negative on there, for real. But I'm just like, that's just what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what it's about. And I don't get on social media to sit here and try to please the next person or anything like that. I'm just being myself. And I've been being myself, but not my truest self over the past couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, how can I?
Yeah. But now you can. And all it took was removing yourself from an environment that stagnated you, that kept you from like shining through. And a lot of times the people we in relationships with, they want us being like that diminished version of ourselves. I remember being in a toxic relationship and him not wanting me to even basically have time with my friends, and then trying to cap the time that I do have with them, getting up, like sitting out late on the couch when I literally never do anything ever. Literally, I could go a year of not doing nothing with anyone. I have one night where I get up with my friends and we go out to eat. We're talking, we're laughing. I had the best time. I get home around 2 a.m. Somebody sitting on a couch like he my father, like acting like I was just out here sleeping around. You know, like it's that insecurity. Like they want to control you. And then I got to a point where I didn't want to hear his mouth. So I would literally leave out the door in some ragged ass clothes just to prove that I'm not trying to impress anybody, even though that's not even me. Like I always got dressed up. I was always cute. But now you don't want me to be that version of myself now that I'm in a relationship with you. Like I got to be dulled down to not attract someone else. And it's just like the things we do, how we dull ourselves down to make them feel more comfortable in their insecurity. So we have to not be our greatest version and look our best. And it's just like, never again, you know?
Because it's not worth it. We lose ourselves trying to prove a point to someone that is still not going to believe us. No matter what we do, no matter how we do it, no matter how we say it, they're still not going to believe us. So it's going to be like, okay, well, should I go ahead and start doing the shit that you accusing me of anyways? Or should I just go ahead and leave?
Yeah, leave.
Leave.
And then when you leave, like instant peace. I think about me is I can't be in toxic relationships for too long because I literally wear the stress. I get knots all in my shoulders, my neck get real stiff.
Yeah.
I start developing health issues. Like I literally will physically deteriorate. I am so sensitive and empathetic to energy. So when my energy is low because of a relationship or a person or a situation, a job or anything, I know I need to exit it immediately. And I don't even play those games anymore. It's actually scary how I can like literally turn my emotions off and act like I ain't never knew your ass and we could have
Okay.
known each other for our entire lives. Like, yeah, it's like a switch. And because it's like I have that's my self-preservation. Like I'm not gonna live long if I stay around you and I don't choose you. Like I choose me because I've done that. I've learned from that.
Yeah, it's a fucked up situation, having to deal with certain things like that. But once again, like you said earlier, sometimes we have to be put in those type of situations just so we can grow and know. Because if we ain't never been in a situation like that, here it is, we 55 years old, and let's just say we do meet someone, you know what I'm saying, or we do get this career that we've always wanted, or whatever the case may be. We've never experienced, by the age of 55, we've never experienced a toxic environment. So now here it is, you older and you don't know how to handle these type of situations because you never experienced the shit. So I'm glad, I'm thankful, all of that I went through what I went through at a young age. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, yeah, with the father of my children. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's no secret. But he taught me a lot. I ain't even gonna hold you up. He's taught me a lot. Um, a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, a lot of how not to treat other people, how to love other people, how to show them empathy, how to just be a great human being to other people, because I know personally what it feels like to not have that type of care. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, and we're not talking about you got to be in love with a person head over heels or anything like that, but just to a simple, how was your day? Goes
Just
a long
simple.
way. Just simple. And it's free, my nigga. Like it's free. You know what I'm saying? And just, you don't know. I might want to sit here and be like, oh my God. So let me tell you about this. And and then I can rest. You know what I'm saying? Once it's time for me to get ready for bed, because now I don't have to go to bed with, damn, this happened today, that happened today, this happened today, this happened, this happened. And now the person that I actually want to tell all this stuff to, the vibe ain't there right now. You know what I'm saying? So now I got to go to sleep with, okay, this, that, all that happened. And plus, the vibe ain't there. We ain't even sleeping in the same bed. I don't get held. I don't get none of that shit. So it's like, I'm alone for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. It taught me how to treat others with kindness and be gentle with them. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them take you for granted and shit, but be gentle with them. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to open up. It's okay to be human. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay to have thoughts. It's okay to be your own self. But most importantly, make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. And the right reasons need to be your happiness. That's your job. That is your responsibility. It ain't nobody else's responsibility after it's all said and done. And once you accept that it ain't nobody else's responsibility, everything is going to start to become way more easier. Because a lot of people be like, oh, you make it look so easy. It's just because I've been mentally trapped for so long. And was already like, what the fuck, you know? And I just needed that push from my ancestors. You know what I'm saying? And be like, listen, if you worry about it, what's the point of you praying? If all you're gonna do is worry about it. Because I'm like, well, shit, how am I gonna afford rent? How am I gonna do this now? And how am I gonna do that? And da-da-da-da-da. The problems was still existing when I was with your ass too. The problems never went away. You just added to the fucking problems. But then once I removed myself, the shit disappeared. Come on now.
Yeah. Like they say, I can do bad all by myself. And that pertains to everybody. If you have toxic siblings that you live with, toxic parents that you live with, if you work in a toxic work environment, it's like, choose your mental health, choose your emotional health. It's almost best to be stressed over how you're going to pay the bills and free up your time working on a solution to that problem than being in an environment that pays your bills but is literally causing you migraines and giving you heart palpitations and anxiety. We have to just learn how to stop making decisions based on fears, and we make a decision to stay in toxic environments based on fear, but weigh out the consequences of staying in such toxic environments, because you can literally just lose your life being so stressed out over the situations you allow other people to put you through, because you fear these really like materialistic, superficial outcomes, when in reality, you can maintain the materialism and the superficial reality that you currently stand on top of, but will literally die in that materialism and that superficial environment. And now you just don't even have a life because you chose things and other people over your own best interests, your own health, your own emotional state. It's just like, we have to start making spiritual decisions instead of these physical, superficial, materialistic decisions. Like, sometimes you just have to step out on faith. You have to sink or swim. You put yourself in, you burn the bridge because you know you ain't going back there. And now you just freed up your time to make it work, because it's better to stress about a solution to a material problem than to stress over then stress over how you're going to be able to maintain living in this environment that literally breaks your spirit day after day, because that's how you end up with anxiety attacks, literally feeling like you're going to die, because anxiety attacks feel like near death experiences. Your heart is pacing so fast that you think you're having a heart attack, or like, you don't know what's going on. You can't breathe. It starts to make you hypoxic. Like, it's not okay to be in situations that has your body in a place where it's not even operating and you feel like you're getting ready to die. Because I've had anxiety attacks, and because I was too cowardice in a sense to just choose to remove myself from the situation altogether, because I'm worried about, well, how am I going to be able to afford rent on my own? How am I going to be able to this? I'd sleep in my car if it meant I just can't do you no more. And what's scary is that some people end up with people so toxic, they literally can't leave or they will be killed. Like, I'm seeing a lot of that lately on the news. Like, these men are murdering their wives for filing divorce. Like, this is a scary, toxic
I mean, it's a lot of and that's out here that's doing the same thing as well too. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying, like, do not ignore those red flags. Like, don't. It's not worth it. Like, you sitting here, you about to kill me, or I'm about to kill you, or then we kill each. Like, no. Leave, 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 leave. Find the guts to leave. Do whatever it is you need to do, however you need to find the money, whatever the case may be, just leave. But like you said, I don't give a fuck if I gotta sleep in my car. You know, because I was to the point where I was like, I'm about to fucking run away and just never come back. The only thing that kept me here is my children. Because I'm like, well, that's going to be fucked up, because how am I going to see my kids? Especially Jamal. Like, we got a whole 3-year-old now. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I got 2 other children, but they can fend for themselves. You know, this is what I'm thinking in my head. No mother or father should be having these type of thoughts. That's some sick shit. And people they think it's normal. Like, oh, okay, this is just a feeling. No, because if you constantly, once again, you train your mind, your body is going to follow. So eventually something is going to fucking happen. And it's not going to be a pretty sight for nobody. Like, for nobody. There's nothing pretty about that at all. Leave. And don't just be like, okay, I'm a leave for sure next year. You might not make it to next year.
Yeah. Choose yourself. I think that is an excellent way to just, bring this conversation to a close. Thank you so much, Tiff. Like, I really appreciate you for coming on. This was like literally planned last minute, but I just had the thought and you pulled through, and they're going crazy in the comments. Bobby said, great conversation. Who we got in here? We got Lala Floyd, TZ Frank. We got Michael Roche. I mean, this was like a powerful discussion. Like, because it's relatable. There's so many people out here. We got, you're welcome, Andrew Sanders. We got Raj Mael, Empowering Information. There's just a lot of people right now who's so afraid to pull the trigger on their own happiness because of fear-based. What's going to happen if I do this? And it's like, yeah, it's not going to be easy. Nobody's saying it's going to be easy, but it's going to force you to grow. Something that I have learned in life is that there are no such thing as problems. Problems don't exist. There are only challenges. Obstacles and challenges are always opportunities to grow. When we change the perception of how we live our experiences, instead of putting ourselves in a victimhood mindset and being like, oh, I have all of these problems, all these problems, they're not problems. They're just experiences. And the difficulty level of that experience makes it a challenge. It makes it an obstacle, but challenges literally force us to refine ourselves as human beings. It forces us to become stronger version of ourselves, to elevate or evolve into a version of ourselves where that is no longer a problem. It's an inconvenience that we can now manage and handle because we've been through that and worse. And we made it through. We're still here. We're still alive. So assess your situation. Stop making other people's issues yours. Love yourself enough to remove yourself from these situations, especially if it is safe to do so. If it is not safe to do so, there are resources out there for battered women or whoever, where you can have a calculated plan on how to exit these situations. But it's important to choose yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. You have to actually have a full cup, and you should never even pour out of your full cup. You should be so full that the people around you are getting the overflow of your cup. because we should never be depleting ourselves for anyone. I don't care who they are, not even children. And I know that sounds terrible coming from me because I don't have kids. I don't care. I don't even think you should deplete yourself for your children. Because again, when you're happy and whole, you have so much overflow that you have enough for yourself and them at the same time. Because you can't help nobody when you're not full. You just can't. You just can't drain yourself. With that being said, do you have any lasting words, Tiff? And where can people find you if they are not familiar with you and want to connect with you on your platform?
Okay, so the last thing that I want to say, and I'm just going to be as blunt as possible, choose your happiness. It's okay to be selfish. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to put yourself first. It's okay to think about yourself. Do not lose yourself over anyone. And it can be your children as well too. Do not lose yourself over anyone, any job, anything at all, because it's not worth it at the end of the day. It's not worth it because you're going to have so much animosity towards yourself. And the last thing you want to do is end up hating yourself. You know what I'm saying? We should not hate ourselves. We should love ourselves, and we should embrace whatever journey that we're currently on. And just know that if you need to leave a toxic environment, no matter what it is, it can be a workplace, leave that shit. Don't be scared. Don't. Because once again, we create our own these problems and shit. We create that shit. Figure it out, get it done, and move along. Like, life is way too short. We don't know shit, for real. Okay. And that's just what it is. We don't know a damn thing, and it is what it is. Y'all can find me on Facebook at Tiff Moore. That's just TIFF space MOORE. Yeah, I'm on Facebook, and you can follow me, you can add me, whatever it is you want to do, you can inbox me. But I share my journey on purpose. I don't try to hide anything. There's nothing for me to hide. Like, this is Tiff. I'm telling the truth. I don't have a reason to lie about a damn thing. And yeah, eat your fruits, eat your vegetables, drink your water, whatever it is you need to do. But make sure, most importantly, you take care of yourself, y'all. For real.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. I got another powerful show coming up this week, actually. I believe it's Stefan Jeffrey. He has an amazing story. I can't wait to introduce him to you guys if you aren't already familiar with him. And yes, please go on the YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Please comment, get me in the algorithm so that more people get to experience these super relatable, super powerful conversations with the magnificent people that I bring here on this platform. If you're on Facebook, again, Tiff Moore, as her name is spelled right there, go hit that follow button. She's got amazing content. She's got tons of inspo when it comes to health food content and just like humor, levity, just positivity. We here for it. I love you guys so much. Bye. I always say that. Love you. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.